talked about the fact that this cohort model, but it kind of contradicts the federal government's issue with IDEA. You know, with our special needs students, we're required by federal law to keep those children in school until they're 21 years old, if they want to be there. Well, guess what? That means they're not going to be out in 4 years. And some of them don't need to be, because there's a lot that we can do to help them if we keep them. I think I have a way that, you know, we've got some specific issues in our community. We have some specific needs that may be different than somebody in South Georgia. I think I've got a way that I can address those, but state, I'm going to need some flexibility from some of your rules and policies in order to do what I want to do that I think is going to move the needle. That's what a charter's all about, and I support that. What I don't support is the amendment for a couple of reasons. The amendment says, shall we amend the Constitution so as to allow the local and state approval of charter schools at the community's request. That sounds fairly innocuous and fairly favorable. I mean, I would vote for that if that's all I knew. But the reality is that we already have local and state approval of charter schools. We don't need the constitutional amendment for that, okay? We have over 130 charter schools in the state now, or another state agency, okay, to approve charter schools when we already have local and state approval. So it's a third authorizing body of charter schools that I think is just a duplication of what we already have in place that will cost a significant amount of money just to operate that agency. But then when you start looking at all the other factors and the money and the resources that go along with that, I do have concerns about any increases in state revenue being geared towards a small number of special approved charter schools before we start restoring funds that have been cut from all of our schools across the state over the last several years.
Say these words on the count of three. On the count of three, say, "You the man." On the count of three, we've identified it.